Welcome back to Soft Talks, where we discuss the hardest topics with the softest approach. I'm Alonia, and this is the series where we face the hard stuff honestly and then find gentle ways to move through it. I want to talk about something that's been sitting heavy on my heart, something I lived through, something I'm healing from, and something I see us unknowingly passing down to our children every single day: burnout. For so long, I wore my exhaustion like a badge of honor. Four jobs at once, providing for everyone, running on empty until my body said no more. And I ended up bedridden for months. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought this was what strength looked like: pushing through, sacrificing, never stopping. But here's what I didn't see then: I was teaching my daughter Rose that this was normal, that this was what adults do, that love means depleting yourself for others. And the truth is, we're all doing this, not just in our homes, but in our schools, in our culture, in the way we've structured childhood itself. When did childhood become a job? Think about it for a moment. Our children wake up early, sometimes before the sun rises. They go to school for 7, 8 hours a day. They come home with homework that takes another 2 or 3 hours. Add in extracurriculars, sports, tutoring, test prep. Then there's the pressure to excel, to stand out, to build a resume before they're even old enough to drive. We've turned childhood into a training ground for burnout. Our babies are learning that rest is lazy, that play is frivolous, that their worth is measured by their productivity, their grades, their achievements. They're learning what we learned: that you have to earn your place, that love is conditional on performance, that stopping means failing. I see it in the teenage girls who come to our circles exhausted, anxious, already feeling behind. I see it in Rose's peers carrying stress in their bodies that should belong to adults who've lived twice as long as them. And I often wonder, when did we decide this was acceptable for our children? Here's the hard truth: we can't give our children what we don't have ourselves. If we're burned out, if we're running on fumes, if we're modeling that rest is something you have to earn after you have given everything away, that's exactly what they'll learn. I was so busy providing, so busy surviving, that I wasn't present with Rose. I thought I was showing her how to be strong, but what she learned was that mommy's work was more important than mommy's presence. That sacrifice meant disappearing from your own life. Our children are watching us check emails at dinner. They see us say, I'm fine, when we're falling apart inside. They hear us say, we'll rest later, after this one more thing, after we've proven ourselves enough. They're learning that their bodies don't matter, that their needs come last, that survival mode is just life. The school system is a manufacturing ground for burnout. So let's talk about school for a moment because this is where it becomes systematic. Our education system was designed during the Industrial Revolution to create factory workers. Sit still, follow instructions, don't question. Produce, produce, produce. And even though we're generations past factory lines and workers, we're still operating from that same blueprint. Children are expected to sit at desks for hours. Their natural need for movement and play are suppressed. They're measured by standardized tests that reduce their brilliance to a number. Just let that sink in for a bit. They're given homework that extends the school day into their sacred rest time, time they need to just be kids. And if they struggle to fit this mode, they're labeled, medicated, made to feel like there's something wrong with them when really there's something wrong with a system that demands they override their natural rhythms and needs. By the time our children reach adulthood, they've had 18 years of training in how to ignore their bodies, suppress their creativity, and measure their worth by external validation. Is it any wonder so many of us end up bedridden, burned out, completely disconnected from ourselves? So, what do we do? How do we break this cycle when it feels so much bigger than us? We start with ourselves. We start by giving ourselves permission to rest, not as a reward, but as a birthright. We start by setting boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable. We start by modeling that our worth isn't tied to our productivity. When my body broke down, when I had no choice but to stop, Rose saw something she had never seen before. She saw me choose myself. She saw me say no. She saw me rest without guilt. And in that space, we both began to heal. Now we talk openly about rest, about boundaries, about the soft life that we are building together, one where our needs matter, where rest is sacred, where we don't have to earn our humanity. Here's what I want for our children and what I'm teaching the young women who come through our circles. Your body is wise. When you're tired, rest. When you need to move, move. You don't need permission to honor what you need. Rest is not lazy. Rest is how we heal. Rest is how we dream. Rest is how we remember who we are underneath all of the doing. Your worth is inherent. You are not your grades. You are not your achievements. You are not your productivity. You are valuable simply because you exist. Boundaries are love. Saying no to what depletes you creates space for what nourishes you. This is not selfish. This is an act of self-preservation. Softness is strength, the ability to be gentle with yourself, to move through life without armor. to feel deeply. This is courage. What if we redefine success for our children, not as the best grades or the most activities or the fullest resume, but as knowing how to listen to their bodies, having the courage to rest when they need it, building relationships that nourish rather than deplete, creating boundaries that protect their peace, finding joy in simply being, not just doing. What if we celebrated the child who says, I need a break, as much as we celebrate the ones who pushes through exhaustion? What if we honor the teenager who chooses less so they can have more presence, more peace, more of themselves? Everything I went through, the burnout, the abuse, the overworking, the people pleasing, the strained relationship with my daughter, all of it is medicine now. Not because it was good, not because it was right, but because I can use it to help break the pattern. I can say to the women in my circles, I see you. I've been where you are, and there's another way. I can say to the teenagers, you don't have to wait until you're burned out to choose rest. You can start now. Your whole life can be different than what was modeled for you. The wounds we carry can become the wisdom that we share with others. So I'm inviting you to pause with me right now, to notice where you might be passing down the pattern of burnout without even realizing it, to ask yourself, what am I teaching through my actions, not just my words, about rest, about worth, about what it means to be human, and then gently to begin choosing differently. Not perfectly, not all at once, but one small boundary at a time, one moment of rest at a time, one conversation with your child about what truly matters in this life and existence. We can't change the school system overnight. We can't transform hustle culture with a snap of our fingers, but we can change what happens in our homes. We can change the messages our children receive from us. We can become the soft place they land, the model of a different way. The soft life isn't about never working or never trying. It's about coming home to yourself. It's about moving through the world from a place of fullness rather than depletion. It's about teaching our children that they are already enough exactly as they are, that their presence matters more than their productivity, that rest is sacred, that they are worthy of a life that doesn't require them to burn out to matter. Take a breath with me. You are doing important work just by being here, by listening, by considering a different way. Your healing is their healing, essentially. Your rest teaches them that rest is possible. Your boundaries show them what self love looks like. Let's break this cycle together. One soft, intentional choice at a time. You are so loved. Until we gather again, may you rest well, and peace be with you always wherever you may go.